Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. This is my co-host Maggie and I'm Corinne. I own the Woolly Thistle and Maggie helps me and the team get everything done that there is to do. And I think this is episode 198, which means we're...
Yeah,
that was last time.
It didn't change it. So
yeah, 198, which means we're just 2 episodes away from 200 flipping episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah,
so thank you for being here. Thank you if you're new and checking us out. We hope you enjoy what we have. And if you're returning, welcome back and thank you for being here.
I do feel inclined to mention that the Woolly Thistle is not just this podcast or shopcast, but we are also an online store located in the beautiful state of New Hampshire.
Yes.
We ship domestic and international. So we hope that if you see anything here that we're either showing or knitting with, most likely it's available in the shop.
I feel inclined to say that we specialize in woolly wool, predominantly non-superwash and very close to the earth in a lot of cases, you know, like homegrown local yarn to where it's made, and championing shepherds and small farmers and independent mills and independent authors and all of that good stuff. So we really love what we're doing here. And you're right to remind people that we are a store, because I always forget to say that. And that is what we are. So yes, welcome. We hope that you're going to enjoy this episode. We have a lot to share with you. We have a postcard from Rachel.
Yes.
And we have a great segment in from Caitlin as well.
Yeah.
There's us. And there's all the stuff. So yeah, stay tuned and we will get through that. I do want to mention too that we are now not doing any advertising on our channel. So new episodes that come out will not have any ads. We think that's a nice thing to do, and it saves you the bother of having to watch ads. So you should be able to watch this uninterrupted now. So we hope that you will shop with the Woolly Thistle, show your support that way, and also leave comments below. We always give away 2 gift cards to the Woolly Thistle from the comments below, but we'll talk more about that. In fact, why don't we just get into that and announce the winner right now, and then we'll catch up and see how we're doing. Yeah.
So our first winner from the last episode is Julie Landy, and Julie says, such a lovely podcast, all oohs and ahs shared over each other's creations. The excitement was so genuine, it's just warmed my soul.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Julie. If you can send us an email at info@thewoollythistle.com, put prize winner in all caps in the subject line, and we will get you your $25 gift card.
Yeah, and we ask winners to do that so that your email jumps out and we can get you your gift card off to you as soon as possible. And if you would like to be in the running for a gift card next time, all you have to do is leave a comment below, click the thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. And did you notice that we've had a bit of a growth spurt?
Yeah,
we're almost at 16,000.
We're getting there.
Yes.
We really like to get there. So
Yes.
if you're enjoying the Shopcast and you have friends who also share a love of knitting,
please
feel free to share us on your social media channels.
Yes, and leave a comment saying you did that. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and if not, just leave a comment. Even leaving a comment, liking and subscribing,
not required.
Helps everything. But,
but it is nice to know when people are sharing and supporting the Woolly Thistle. We like to say thank you very much. So all right. So what do we have for this episode?
We haven't seen you in a while, so you gallivanted off last week. And you did something fun.
I did. So you guys wouldn't know this because I was here for the last episode, but in the meantime, I went off to Harrisville Designs, which is in New Hampshire, and they're a historic woolen mill, and they do weaving courses or workshops. And I remember years ago going there and thinking, oh, I'd love to do that, a 5-day course. Well, I just did it. So I feel very relaxed.
Great.
For having focused my attention so fully on something else. And thank you to the team for looking after the shop while I was gone. Didn't worry about a thing. And I think all went really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fantastic. And I did actually, and I'll show you my FOs, but I did actually create some weaving. It's very beginner, but also...
So they had you weaving on a 5-heddle? Like
4.
4-heddle?
4-heddle, 6 treadle.
Okay.
And those harnesses were hooked up there were more than one harness hooked up to each treadle.
Okay.
So it wasn't direct, it was, I don't know what you call that one, but it was very confusing. I was like doing the paddy are down there and making my own designs, not by intention. But it was really, really fun. The teacher was fantastic. Her name is Megan. Absolutely wonderful teacher. Really a teacher to the core. She was full of energy. I remember at one point I inhaled to call her name and she was there. Like I didn't even get her name. I was like, what do you need? So very attentive, very artistic. Made everyone feel really comfortable with their, their skill levels, which we were all beginners. And we spent 5 days warping, then warping the loom, and then, threading everything, and then actually making cloth.
Wow.
It felt amazing. And so I did not buy a loom at Harrisville Designs because that was just a little beyond my budget, but I did find one down in Connecticut and I'm going to pick it up.
Nice.
Yes, it's a Harrisville loom that is being, gotten rid of.
Yeah.
So it'll be great. It's similar to what I learned on.
Oh, good.
And yeah, I hope to do lots more weaving. For
Wonderful.
sure. And I went with my bestie Amber, my very good friend Amber, and she also she already has a loom. She had not heard of Facebook Marketplace when I told her about it, and as soon as I told her, within it felt like 5 minutes, she had a loom.
That's funny.
So she's already warping up and
nice.
going. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wonderful.
It was fantastic. The weather was beautiful. All my classmates, my housemates, because we stayed in the boarding house. Lovely apartment upstairs.
Oh, nice.
Everyone was just wonderful and there for the fun of it. And really interesting people. There was a psychotherapist. There was an energy worker. There was payroll manager and a tax accountant. And, just people from all walks of life. And we were all there fully immersed, for the entire day and beyond. We were on the floor underneath our looms, hooking things up. Mm-hmm. My back ached for the first couple of days, just, with a new position.
I've only watched videos of, if you watch Rachel, who is Welford Pearls, she's Welford Pearls on Instagram. I'm trying to remember what the name of her podcast is, but she also does a Rachel Weaves channel, and she weaves on a very fancy,
very big
loom. Yeah. I just have my rigid heddle.
That's okay. Okay. And apparently you can do floats with a rigid heddle, which I didn't realize. Yeah. So do you want me to show you what I did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. So I have 2 FOs. This was my first one. And this is the one where I learned how to warp and then do twill. We were straight into it. Look at that. You can see all my mistakes.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed. I think, there was a lot to learn. There was a lot going on. So my warp was this dark purple and this pink. And then my weft was the white or the pink. And then this sort of tangerine color. And then I wefted with some of the dark color. And it just goes on and on. So I didn't know how to do my ends, so I left ends. I've since learned that you just sort of overlap them right at the edge, so I didn't need to have ends. We learned about floating selvage warp threads, which you need to do some patterns, so that was fascinating. So this was that, and this has been washed and fulled.
Nice.
Feels pretty good. So we used Harrisville Designs yarn. I used the Highland for that. It'd be
sort of weird if you didn't.
I know, right? No, I brought my own yarn, thank you. So these, oh my gosh, it's just so gorgeous. If you've never been to Harrisville Designs, you have to go.
I've never been.
Oh my God. It's a historic mill
it's
town.
like right down the highway too,
I know. Well, it's not. No, it's a little bit back roadsy, but it's a lovely drive. It's maybe an hour and a half.
What's funny is I think Caitlin went when she's here.
You never do what's on your doorstep. However, I do because I've been many times. But it's a very historic mill town that has been preserved. So
I really like that section. It's so pretty.
Isn't that good?
I like those colors together too.
I do too. I know all the hot
done.
colors.
Very beautiful.
Thank you. And it's a historic mill town, all brick buildings. So you've got the brick mill buildings, and then you've got all these houses that would have belonged to the mill owners, and then they've got like Peanut Row, which is a bunch of little wooden houses. There's a pond there that helps you know, power the mill. Now they've got solar as well. And we had a mill tour. I'm actually going to put in a little video so that you can see. I took photos and videos, so we'll put that in there.
On the other side, there all the every other strand is it's unrolling up over, and every other strand on this side is you know, as a line. So you have to put them in from that side. But so what happens? You just put that back in. What happens is we'll wait till these get down as long as we go, and we shut it up, break off the ends on either side, take that pull out, drop another one in, and like so. These are designed to pick up the end and wrap it up if the end breaks so that it doesn't go into the other ones that split. And then when that happens, it will just be like that. And eventually it kind of just grab onto it and pull it up. And then you can just grab these. You can unwind it a little. You can make it just run perfectly straight if you wanted to and not do that diamond pattern. You can do all kinds of things with it, but it's really, this one's really neat because it has a sensor, so if the yarn breaks, the machine shuts off automatically, so you can fix it. Our old ones do not have that, so if your back was turned, you'd be like, you know. So this one's really nice in that way. It's also way quiet. You wouldn't even hear it if the other stuff was not. Oh, and that's our ball winder way back there. So when I say balls, I mean, so what she's doing, she's taking them up in bundles of 6 and twisting them together and layering them in this box. And then we're going to send it up to the wash department to get washed. They'll hang dry. It dries out like overnight. It takes to dry.
Nice. Yeah, it was really good. So. And then this was the second one I made. And this was all in their Shetland weight yarn, which is a fingering weight. And this was much more difficult to thread up with my eyes. What do you call this? The reed? Is that what you call the thing with all the slats?
I think so.
With all the dents? Mm-hmm. It was red, and I was warping with red.
Oh.
So it was really hard to see. And I did have a few areas where I'd crossed my warp, and I had to figure that out, but that was good. We warped from front to back.
Better to make the mistakes there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we warped front to back, which helped me get things sorted out. But then we started doing these, what do they call that? Twill? No, that's not twill. But yeah, you can see. Look at that! And then we played with using different hookups. So I think this one was 2 different harnesses on one treadle. And then down here we got to where we only had 1 harness on each treadle. So you do get this nice design on the front, but on the back it was very much like that. And I did that for an awful long time. Off we went. I think round about here though, I started getting the hang of it. That looks pretty consistent.
Very fun.
Yeah, and then down here we did another thing down here, which by this point I was tired. So yes, it was fabulous, and I don't know what I'll ever do with these, but I'll keep them to show my progress because I am getting a loom and I will be doing more weaving. I was really, really afraid, and I talked a lot about this with my roommates, that, well, I don't have time to weave. I'm a knitter and I knit. But what it actually, and I thought that weaving would be a total time suck. And I think once you get it warped on, you can just sit down and do a few things in between. It's not going to be a time suck, she said. So, yeah. And then,
I think too, if you're enjoying it, then...
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Well, because I knit a lot for work and stuff, and, I'm always late with stuff. as already, so maybe I'll be a bit later. I did get this book as well, which is the Bible, I guess, to weaving, learning to weave. I'm going to see if we can maybe stock this in the shop a little bit. Yeah. If you happen to be a weaver out there and you're interested in the Woolly Thistle, maybe carrying some yarn lines, we already have cones of JNS, which is really good for weavers. I think I'm going to start with that. And
we've had a couple of knitters share their weaving projects that they made with Rauma fennel yarn.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, which I was really surprised to see, but yeah, they absolutely.
Fabulous, fabulous. So yeah, I'm excited. It's a new skill. It feels very textile connection, you know, to history and tradition, which is what we love here through our knitting. So it feels very, you know, it feels good, feels aligned. Yeah. So it was a good time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
That was probably a much longer answer.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. So what else do we have today?
Well, do you have any knitting that you
I do have knitting, but do you have any knitting?
I do.
Let's see your...
So I have a finished, I finished my Vatna shawl.
Now, when does the Cal actually finish?
Today is the last day of the
Today
Cal,
that this goes live?
Today that this goes live.
Good, because I still have time then. Between recording.
So, and you know, if you don't finish, you don't just finish. But post any of your photos as close as you've gotten in both either the Ravelry group.
We want to see them.
Yeah, because I think any progress you've made is
it's
wonderful.
Good progress. Yeah.
So don't feel bad if you don't finish.
Right.
But I finished.
She said, "This is so magnificent.
I really love it.
It's beautiful.
I really enjoyed knitting this."
It looks so squishy.
I never would have dreamed that I would have enjoyed knitting from the outside with all those stitches.
Well, very motivational to be getting shorter and shorter, I would guess. So tell us what you knitted this in again.
So I used Jamieson and Smith 2-ply. I used a cone of 202, and then about 3 other colors. I purchased a Hansel Hap kit. I've got lots of yarn left, but I don't mind having JNS left at all.
Yes.
So
beautiful.
It's really nice. It's very lightweight and cozy. It stays on my shoulders really well.
Looks squishy.
It is. It's
it does stay on your shoulders, so it's a good shape.
It does. It's a good shape.
Wearing. I think you'll get a lot of wear out of this actually.
Yeah. I was wearing it a bunch on Friday. It's a bit warmer today.
Yeah.
So no need
the
for a shawl.
warm weather's but it's still nice and cool in the morning.
Yes. My office seems to be a little chilly in the morning. But I think it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'll open the window.
Well, we need to make sure Josh doesn't have the AC on full blast because he does like.
No, and actually, when the AC guy was here, checking on it, he checked mine and he actually narrowed the flow because it's like right over my desk.
It is right over your desk.
And I'm the one person who's always cold. So he was like, "I'm gonna help you out."
Oh, nice.
So I was like, "You're a nice man." Thank you, nice man. So
that's awesome.
So that's the
one. So that's your FO.
And then I've got I got one more FO. Which actually maybe we should go to Caitlin first and then come back. Show.
All right, that sounds good. We'll see you in a minute.
Hi everyone, it's Caitlin. Nice to be with you again. I have lots to talk about today, so I'm just going to start right in with what I'm wearing, then my finished shawl from our shawl knit along that's wrapping up today. I have a new cast on, a continuing project, and a finished thing to show you too. So yeah, let's start with what I've got on. This is the Soldotna. It's a Caitlin Hunter pattern. I knit mine in a few different yarns I had in my stash. It's a fun one for kind of pairing smaller quantities of yarn that you have. And I made mine a little bit longer than the pattern calls for since I don't like something quite so cropped. And I added some of the lice stitch onto the sleeve. Normally it would just be the ribbing here, but I wanted a little bit longer sleeve. This is 100% wool, and I wasn't sure I'd wear such a short-sleeved woolly garment for my climate. That just I wanted something with a little bit longer sleeve to bring me into a little bit cooler wool-wearing weather. So yeah, the Soldotna by Caitlin Hunter. And let's see, shawl knit along. That's sitting here. I knit the Bouquet Shawl by Linnea Ornstein. She is a Swedish designer with lots of different versions of this type of design. Her area shawl by that Kelsey knit a while ago and shared on the Shopcast here is a popular one. This one is a little bit different shape. So it's a full triangle and has this sort of bouquet of, it's inspired by tulips. So those kind of radiate out from the side. You start knitting on the end here with a couple stitches and then work your way increasing on one side up here until you get to doing a whole bunch of short row tulips. And I used my hand spun for this. So it's a marled color changing yarn. And I think it turned out really fun. I love the feel of the fabric. The main yarn is Ulcentrum 2-ply Sport. I keep buying this yarn because I had some left over from my pressed flowers cardigan that I knit. So I just bought a little extra to knit this, and now I have quite a bit left from this. So let's see if I can use this up. I just keep having extra. And then I thought you'd like to see the hand spun that I still have left. This was about 100 grams, maybe 115. This is a Three Waters Farm Fiber of the Month Club that I was a part of for a while. This is called Mary Poppies, and I think it's Polworth, could be merino. And I haven't weighed it, but probably about half of it left. So I'm trying not to be too precious with my hand spun and realize that even if I do use my hand spun in a project, I might even still have some left. So it's not like this yarn is gone and used up forever. I still have enough for another project. So that was a lot of fun. I love how it turned out and have just really enjoyed seeing all of your projects for the Shawl Knit Along. Hope that you've enjoyed your time there too. Next, let's see, I'll show you a brand new cast on and a new yarn that I got for another cast on. I've just had a lot of knitting inspiration and energy lately. So this is Blacker Lioness, which we don't have in the shop now, and I can't say for sure whether we'll get it back, but it's a merino, I think merino and linen blend, fingering weight. I got this during the sale that we had a little while ago, and I just cast on a Cloudsley sweater by Isabel Kramer. Not much to show yet, but it's going to have a textured stitch with a little bit of cabling kind of as a panel down the whole back, and then the front is fairly plain, but kind of a nice V-neck, I believe, and then it'll have a little bit of the textured stitch all along the hem. This is taking me a while. It's some make ones and little cabling without a cable needle. Makes me feel like a less proficient knitter than when I'm just zooming away on stockinette, but will be worth the pretty texture that it's going to make in the end. Because we don't have this yarn right now, I was thinking of another yarn that could be good for this pattern, and I actually have some on hand. We just got this yarn in, and it just came in the mail yesterday. This is Saona, which is the newest from WoolDreamers in Spain. We've got a beautiful label here of their ancestors washing the wool in the river, the Saona River. And the yarn is a 50-50 wool and cotton blend fingering weight, which will be fun for summer knitting. So I got two skeins of the 1985 color and then one of the Fratelli. I don't know if you can see the Fratelli. It's got like a light gray and then a tiny bit of, I think that probably the navy, and a little bit of a lavender in there, which is really pretty. These are going to be used together for an Argil tank. It was from one of the Pom-Pom quarterly summer issues a couple years ago, and I can't remember the designer's name off the top of my head, but it's a tank with fine stripes of the lighter color, and then it actually has a tie kind of at the front, at the bottom. That will be pretty fun. I'm going to come back to talking a little bit more about this yarn shortly when we talk about my next project and some ideas I have for you. But yeah, I was really excited to see this yarn. It's more soft and sort of consistent than what I expected. The cotton blends in really nicely with the wool, and I think it'll give a little texture, but is more just like all over soft, not so like nubby textured that I maybe expected. So excited to get that one on the needles too. And I think next I've got a finished project to show you. This is something you've seen Maggie working on, and I'm recording before she does, but I think she's gonna have a finished project to show you. This kind of combination of patterns is gonna be a bit intense today, but this is my own design called the Rauma Cowl, and it is going to be a kit. We're working on making sure we have the yarns in stock for you, but yeah, this will be coming out. Stay tuned. Don't have exact timing, but yeah, you saw a couple months ago, if you watched the Shopcast, my first version, which was knit in some yarn I had in stash, and then I wanted to knit one with woolly thistle yarns. So I changed a few things from what I learned about the first one. Now the pattern is just a little different, has a bit more detail, especially in these circles here. And so the new version and kind of the final one is knit in Rauma Fivel. The navy and the cream are Rauma Fivel, which is a worsted weight yarn from Finland, and woolen spun, nice and lofty. And then the other one is a color changing yarn. It's Making Tracks from Junction Fiber Mill, which is sort of a DK weight, but works well as a worsted gauge. So you can see it kind of changes what the foreground and background colors are all the way around. And is also what's called a Mobius shape, where you put a twist into it as you're grafting it. So you could actually lay it pretty nice and flat when you're like wearing it under a coat, but then it just gives it kind of a nice little shape so that it doesn't just hang open when you're wearing it. So yeah, the Rauma Cowl, it's named after the street in France that my husband and I lived on when we spent a year in France, and the name Bonnie in it made me think of the woolly thistle and seemed appropriate as sort of a Scottish nod. So yeah, excited to keep you updated on when we'll have that in the shop, and we'll let you know. Then I also wanted to finish with the stripy sweater I showed you last time. I made some progress, but I'm not quite done. This is Kate Davies Evendoon Pullover from her 10 Years in the Making book, but I've changed the stripes to use up all of my little stash. So I've got a full sleeve to show you. The body is done. And I've just got the other sleeve and then the neckline to do. So this is turning out to be really fun. Micro stripes of all of my little balls of DK and worsted weight leftovers. Called it like a scrapbook or souvenir sweater, because I can look at all the previous projects, little odds and ends, and it's been really fun. So I'll show you that when it's all the way done. But this project had me thinking about my journey into sweater knitting. So I kind of wanted to tell you that story, and then how that leads me to some suggestions for knitting when you're on a budget, especially garments or larger projects. This black yarn is a Discontinued Patterns superwash. I had a bunch of it in my stash, and that's because my mom's friend was giving it away when she was, I think, transitioning from doing sweater machine knitting. She wasn't doing that so much anymore, so she had these huge bags of a few different colors. Actually, this is that same yarn. And I, all of a sudden, a few years ago, happened across these large sweater quantities of a few yarns. Before that, I had mainly made accessories smaller projects, I had started learning and getting into the world of woolly wools and small batches, farms, hand-dyed, the kind of yarns that are really special and make the knitting experience really fun, but also tend to cost more. And so when I would buy these special yarns, I was buying one skein at a time. I couldn't bring myself to spend any more than that at a time. I didn't think I was a talented enough knitter to do any justice to a sweater quantity of such a nice yarn. And it just wasn't, something that was really in the cards for me where I was at the time. And I was still loving knitting, but once I got this a couple sweater quantities given to me, I felt like I finally had the means to jump into knitting a sweater. And it's since I got a sweater on the needles and finished one that my knitting just like hasn't stopped since. I don't know if that has happened to you, if you have a similar knitting journey where once you got to knitting a certain type of project, it was like just this whole new world of, I don't know, possibilities and knitting energy. And since then, I've just always had to have something on my needles. The sweaters did that for me. So I'm trying to think of suggestions I have for those of you who might be in a similar situation where you have a taste for yarn that maybe kind of goes beyond what your budget is able to handle these days. And if you don't have a sweater quantity of a nice yarn land in your lap, how could you kind of recreate that, especially as you're shopping at the Woolly Thistle? Because if you're shopping with us, you probably have already started drinking that Kool-Aid of loving the high quality woolly wools, heirloom quality, the kind of yarn that is so worth knitting with in a lot of ways because it's going to last. There's nothing wrong either with knitting from yarns from big box stores or keeping it to a budget. But I'm speaking most specifically to the people who do want to get the farm yarns, the small batch kind of yarns that we carry in more of their projects. So a couple of suggestions I have are looking at some of the yarns in our shop that are on the more budget-friendly side, and then how to choose projects that are going to be more budget-friendly because of the way that they're made, the amount of yarn that they require, and so on. So a few ideas I have for you. First of all is to go to some of the yarns in our website that are on the more budget-friendly side. And when I think of those, there's a few that come to mind. One is Let Lopey. The way I kind of figure this, sometimes it's hard to compare yarns because they come in different quantities, different size skeins. What I like to do, if I'm thinking budget consciously, is I look at the price and then I divide the dollars by the amount of grams in the skein. So for example, Let Lopey is $5.75 a skein for a 50 gram skein. So $5.75 divided by 50. That equals out about 11 cents per gram. And then from there, you can compare yarns more easily and find which ones are the more expensive and which ones are the more budget-friendly yarns, as far as like the amount of yarn that you'll get for your money. Another one that's pretty budget-friendly is Ulcentrum, either the sport weight or the worsted weight. Those are 12 cents a gram. Mondim is a fingering weight from Retrosaria. That one's 15 cents a gram. Mungo, their worsted weight wool cotton yarn. That one is 12 cents a gram. Plodu Lopey is another Lopey yarn. That's only 10 cents a gram. It's the unspun and also can work up at a really loose gauge. That is another thing that's going to make your yarn go further, is the looser you can knit a yarn, the bigger piece of fabric you're going to make, basically. So the vanilla sweater is an example of a yarn in a project that your yarn goes a lot further than you might think because it's such a loose gauge. That Rauma fennel garn will kind of get you a larger project with less skeins than you would maybe think for a sweater otherwise. A few other projects and kits that we have in the shop that would be quite budget friendly are something like the Felix sweater that's knit in Let Lopi, which is already a budget friendly yarn, and knit at a loose gauge. So for the largest size Felix kit, you're looking at $63 for the entire kit. That seems like a really great price point for a wool sweater that's going to last, be durable, and be really fun to knit. The Altheta is another. That one is knit in Plodulopi, again, another budget-friendly yarn, and the largest size for that one is $69 for the kit and has a few different color options. That one's always a fun one to knit. Another suggestion that I have for you when you're shopping our website yarns is considering something like the JNS cones. Those are more yardage for your money than buying small individual skeins. And then while we're talking about JNS, also keep an eye out for when we do the grab bags. That's usually around Thanksgiving, but you'll get more skeins at a discount when you get kind of a random assortment of the JNS 2-ply jumper weight skeins. And then just a couple other suggestions I have. When you're trying to make a garment, maybe step your toe into the garment knitting world, but also want to do so in a budget conscious way while still knitting with the yarns that are going to make the whole process really fun and enjoyable, is to think about the summer knitting. The Argil tee or the tank top that I'm going to knit is only going to take these 3 skeins. At $8.95 a skein, I'm going to get this whole garment for like $27. So think about doing some short sleeve things, some cropped things. This feels a little counterintuitive to me, but fingering weight projects are actually going to bring your yardage further than something like a worsted weight project. So look at those lighter weight projects. You can search patterns on Ravelry for fingering weight wool cotton blends at a specific gauge. Even this yarn I think suggests about a 26 stitches per 4 inches. You can sort by gauge to kind of help narrow down your pattern options out there. But starting with a summer project, it'll still be all of the steps to creating a full sweater, but you don't have to do the sleeves. And it's, at least if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you're at the time of year where it'll be fun to get something summery on the needles. So I hope that helps give you some ideas of kind of jumping off points for diving into sweater knitting while still kind of keeping your yarn purchasing budget at the front of your mind. And feel free to let us know in the comments. I'm sure I missed some tips out there, and that many of you would have other ideas or suggested patterns or yarns that we carry that would be really great for the garments, and also like larger shawls when you're looking at buying larger quantities of our yarns. Yeah, thanks so much for having me this week, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that segment with Caitlin. As you can see, I am wearing my finished cowl.
Oh, it looks so squishy.
It's a little smaller than Caitlin's, but
you guys knit at different gauges.
We do.
That's
I
the
didn't
beauty.
do a gauge swatch.
No, that's the beauty of a cowl anyway.
Cool.
Is it comfortable?
It is quite comfortable, yeah.
Then it's perfect.
Yeah, it works.
It looks really nice.
So I used the Making Tracks in the cranberries and apples colorway.
Love it. Very
which I
fall.
really like. That was I Kitchenered on Saturday.
God, that's very
Isn't that
neat.
amazing?
Did you do it both sides?
So I will admit, I first did, because you've got 4 needles,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to make sure. And I actually did the right side, did the wrong side, so then I had to reverse. I checked it like I was like an inch in, and then I was like, oh. that's not
Bummer.
right.
Yeah.
So I undid it and redid it.
Yeah.
And I went outside where I could yell, knit, purl, knit, and nobody would bother me. But yeah, and then
Our
I
neighbors.
used 2 colors of Fivel. The cat was in the window behind me going, "Wah!" because he wanted to come out. But yeah, 2 colors of Fivel and the cranberries and apples.
Fivel
colorway.
by Rauma, which is our newest Rauma edition.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And we're going to put kits together for this. Yes.
Yeah, we're working on that. So stay tuned.
I also, I have not cast on yet. I just have not been able to get out my own way, but I have some making tracks that I want to use in that. So I will be knitting
It's great. I used maybe like half a skein of the making tracks.
Oh.
And I still had a little bit left over, so I didn't play yarn chicken.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
And
there's that.
I thoroughly enjoyed Caitlin's segment. I hope you did too. I thought that was very good of her to do a budget friendly
Yeah.
review and the way she figures out the cost of things to sort of neutralize all the different sizes and pricing, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love her, I'm going to call it her all sorts scrappy sweater. It's so good.
It is so good.
So good. Yeah. So yeah,
That
thoroughly
looks like
enjoyed
it'd be
that.
very, very potato chip.
Very.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It really looks like just one row per color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fabulous. Fabulous. So let's see.
So those are my FOs. I have a couple whips.
Let's see a whip then.
All right. I got a duck.
I saw those.
He's so cute.
Look at his big freaking hands.
I guess it's her, but
Guess her. Look at her hands. She is
I
so
know.
cute.
it's funny. My youngest
Aw.
Irene was looking at her and she's like, "She's got really big hands.
She's got a
Well, they're
fly."
feathers." And
Yeah.
actually, I think her bottom is gonna be quite round as well.
That's adorable.
So the pattern is genius. So the pattern is from, I'll leave the book up there, Mouche and Friends, and it is the Nanoduck, I think is the name of the pattern.
What's ingenious about it?
So this whole thing is worked seamlessly from the beak down.
Wow.
So it's really clever. So you start with the beak and then you increase and then you do short rows to do the head.
Yeah.
And then you increase for the neck, and then she has you put some stitches on waist yarn
Yeah.
while you do this wing, and then you work that wing, and then you pick them all up and you go down the body. And then she's
very
gonna have
cute.
you, like at some point I have to block it fairly soon, and then you do the little legs and the feet.
Oh, adorable.
So
What are you
cute.
knitting her in?
I'm using Jamieson and Smith.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so the
Very tight
orange I want to
gauge.
say is, so I'm knitting these on zeros. The pattern calls for zeros.
Yeah.
If you don't like zeros, just use a slightly thicker yarn.
Yeah, you'll have a
The
bigger duck.
needle, you'd have a
With even bigger
duck.
hands.
But it's so cute. I've really been enjoying it. It's been addictive. Like, look at her little
Oh,
keister.
touche. Yes. Oh.
So I've been knitting on this a lot this weekend, and then when I've gotten too tired, then I've been picking up my
You
fall
do
thing.
enjoy knitting animals once in a while,
I
don't
do
you?
enjoy making little friends.
Her eyes are perfect.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody and I was mentioning, I saw Margaret this weekend and mentioned to her that I was working on the duck, and her husband's like, "Oh, who's it for?" I'm like, "Not me."
Okay, so
Maybe.
the guy's here to cut the grass.
Yeah,
We're going to keep going if that's okay with you.
yeah. Hopefully
It's a
hopefully
very short,
he's fast.
small-
He's got
yeah.
one of those zooming ones.
Yeah,
So.
and hopefully he takes off.
Yeah.
All right, good. So I think she's beautiful. Have you
She
named
is.
her yet?
I have not.
Oh,
I have not. It's really in
your
the
eye
stuffing.
placement is very good. So my
so,
eye
so
placement,
the pattern,
not
she
so
actually
good.
tells you in the pattern. So that's why she has you use. I've been saving, like as I finished my cowl,
Yeah.
and I was weaving in ends, and after I blocked it, I snipped them off. I saved them because in the book she has you use little bits and ends to mark where you're going to put other rows or where you're going to put the eyes.
Right.
So
right.
so she tells you exactly where to put them, so that
Okay.
you don't end up with.
Like, can
that.
I just show you?
It
No.
reminds me of Hey Hey from Moana.
Demented chicken. Yes.
So cute. You know, we get asked about these hens occasionally.
Do we still have the kit?
So we do still have a kit. We have a kit for enough yarn for the combs and some real eyes, not just buttons, although you can use buttons.
So this is one. Who knitted this one?
Bonnie knit that one.
Bonnie, and she did a much better job of the eye placement. Look at that.
It's so cute. So the pattern is the Fancy Hen pattern by Ella Austin. And Corinne knit hers a couple years ago using Rauma Stricka yarn. So you just pick the 2 colors of Rauma Stricka yarn that you want.
Yep.
And then you can buy in the shop the kit for the combs and the eyes.
Yes, so yes, we've got just enough to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's such a fun little pattern.
It was very, very fun and quite good beginner knitter, beginner color work
Yeah, if you
project actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
anyway.
in the pattern, what's her name? Her name just left me. But anyway, the designer tells you where to put the
Very good.
the eyes.
She's very pretty.
She's very pretty. So,
Yes.
and I like this color. I don't know if you can really tell. The
Yeah, there's
J&S
lots
has lots
of-
of color in it. Like it's brown, but it has golds and
Blue.
blues and
Green
just
even.
like a duck.
Mm-hmm.
So very cute.
Aw.
So I'm working on that. And then if you want to see my Paul Clay,
Yeah.
the body's almost done.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen this for a while. Oh
I know, it's
my gosh.
So I'm really close to I'm working from a cone.
Yeah.
So
Always love it.
I know, it smells so nice.
It does. Oh, very nice. Very,
So
very nice.
That'll be done in no time.
Yes. Good for you.
So
Is this one for you or your daughter?
this one's for me, so it will block.
It will.
I have, it will block. I've
'Cause you have
tried
two.
it on and it's fine, it'll block.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one's still for those who were, oh no, it's at home. No, it's not. Ha! So this one, and Irene, I think she's actually, it's fun how much it floofs up. It's so
Oh, because
nice.
it's been blocked?
Yeah, this one's
Oh,
been
yeah.
blocked.
Yeah.
Um,
Gorgeous.
So
Just look at
pretty.
the colors, Maggie. Do you have these colors noted on your
I
Ravelry?
do. They're on my Ravelry page. So I'm using for the body Kona 54 from Jamieson and Smith, and the colors in the yoke are a mix of Jamieson and Smith and some Jamiesons of Shetland Spindrift.
Which is a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So,
very happy
very,
color
very good.
colors.
yeah,
Yes.
very bright.
Yes.
Irene and I are gonna match,
You are.
which
That's
I love.
lovely.
Which I love that she's open to that.
Yeah. Well, it's
So-
so good.
It's not often that a 13-year-old wants to match her mother.
I know. I know. Maybe it's
So-
just around the house. You don't know yet.
I don't know yet. That's true.
I have nothing new to show other than my weaving, but I am knitting on I spent yesterday recording coursework for the Dunrobin sweater.
Nice.
Yes, and all I have to do now is the neck and adding the sleeves, but I've got the neck hole done, and I've got the the shoulder 3-needle bind off done on both sides, and it looks massive right now. But I'm really loving this purple color.
Mm-hmm.
I see that in my weaving too. This is Studio Donegal Irish Heather. I love it.
There's a lot
And
of depth in that color. I don't
Yeah.
know if you can see. It's
Yeah.
really pretty.
really pretty. And so yeah, I need to just record adding the sleeves, doing the neck, which will be a nice big what do you call that here? Turtleneck?
Like a turtle, but it's really like a mock turtleneck. It's similar
Yeah.
to the Paul Clay where it's just the
It's
single
just
layer.
yes, it's just up. I would call that a polo neck, but that's not what you call it here. So I've been knitting on that, and I've been knitting still on my Gudrun Johnston
Oh yeah,
Halligarth. I'm not near finished.
that's okay.
You know what though? I love knitting on this. I really, really enjoy it. For all the mistakes I do make and rip back, I sometimes, get through it without that. I think I have one more repeat to do of the body here, and then I'm going to zoom down the sides.
It's gonna be so pretty when you're finally able to really open it up.
I
and
know, and to feel the rambler blocked will be really, really good.
Yeah.
But this is a slow knit. Oh, I'm showing you the wrong side. I'm looking at the right side for myself. So I'm really enjoying this slow knit.
Yeah, so pretty.
It's very relaxing to knit, and I love the color and I love the texture.
It feels really nice.
Doesn't it though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. I mean, this is our sock yarn, 100% wool, and knitting it on a forget what size. It's not that big a needle.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely designed it with socks in mind, but Rambler I think is really good for anything.
Yeah. So
And I've seen some of you have knit sweaters with it.
Oh wow!
Which is wonderful.
I need to see that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm enjoying my knitting, and it's just taking a little bit of time. But I do want to cast on Caitlin's, and she's got a lovely name for it. There's Bonnie in the
Rubani?
name. Rubani. Is that it? Rubani?
Yeah.
Where she and her husband lived in France for a year. I mean, That's awesome. And
We lived in Orlando.
that's good
Very
too.
exotic.
I lived in New Hampshire and Vermont. But yes, so Rubani, I want to cast that on because I love the colors I've got for that, and it'll be a good use of that. And then I think I need to start turning my attention to a vest, a color work vest. Because we're gearing up to do something with that too, aren't we?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna end up looking at our calendar. I was thinking that we would have our sweater cowl, our annual sweater cowl, and then after that, just a deep dive into vests.
Oh, okay, so that's coming after. I thought it was coming before. She's really the one who controls everything, so
Yeah.
what do
I want to
know?
make sure we have enough time to really like savor
Yes.
the vests
Yes.
and the color planning,
Yes.
and I don't want to have to rush us through
It will also be nice. It'll be a nice change from knitting a sweater because you'll be knitting with us, right?
Yeah.
And so a sweater is big, and then what's beautiful about a vest is no sleeves.
Right.
And we can do the sticking of the neck and the sleeves, so the whole thing's knit in the round.
Yeah.
And yeah, all right, good. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
we
think
have
it's a good plan.
yes. You know, we're just in June, and we're already thinking about the sweater cowl, which is our big cowl of the year. But I'm sure there'll be plenty.
So that
of things.
usually, if you're new here, that usually starts at the end of August and runs for 6 weeks. And ends usually right around the end of October, which is right around Rhinebeck time.
Exactly. So you'll have a new sweater for Rhinebeck, which is nice.
And even if you're not going to Rhinebeck, you still end up with a new sweater right in the fall.
Yeah, and even before that, we're going to have our sock sprints, and that's in July. So that's next month. Yeah. So yes, lots going on.
Yeah.
Always.
And speaking of cowls, today the Handkerchief cowl
Yes.
that is being put on by Simply Shetland.
Right.
So the Handkerchief cowl, the Handkerchief was designed by Gudrun Johnston, and
it's basically all the working parts of a hat.
yeah.
But knit small and as a sort of cowl, like a kerchief.
And we were talking about this. Grady and I had a Facebook Live last Friday, and we were talking about this. Somebody asked. So apparently, this is actually knit from from the bottom up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because somebody asked, and I was like, I don't know.
But that's not what you do with her Hansel hat. So but
Right.
still, you're
But I
learning
think it's a great
construction.
way you can test out the colors, and
Yeah.
it's a cute little hat kerchief.
Totally wearable.
It's hard to get a good sense for size here, but there's a photo of Gudrun wearing it that we can put here.
Yeah.
And we do have some kits.
Yes, they've been
available.
doing well. I've noticed. Yeah, people are gobbling those up, which is good.
Yeah, so the cowl is put on by Simply Shetland, which is the U.S. distributor for Jamieson's of Shetland. So for this cowl, we do ask that you use Spindrift.
Yeah, and for us, we're just sort of joining in.
Yeah.
It's not our cowl per se, but happy to share the love for it. And I think those kits are lovely. We've a few different colors available.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have anything else to show us?
I can show you the handkerchief kits if you want to see those now.
Yeah, sure. Let's look at them.
Might make good sense.
Yeah.
So we had 4 different colorways. We have this first one is Twilight.
Oh,
It's hard
love.
to see and the nice thing about this is, so we give you the 4 colors, and we do tell you which ones, the order that they should go in.
Yeah.
But since they all only use one ball, if you want to use them in a different order,
Go for it.
use them however you want.
This one is called Blueberry Sky, and it's lovely. It's got this sort of lavender color over here, and a nice dark bluey purple, and then this peachy, and a dark blue, a navy blue.
Yeah. And then this one's Tranquil Waters, which has the Shetland Black as the
These are lovely. And are these colorways that we've come up with here in the shop? Yeah.
Yeah,
Night
and then
Scape.
we did have colorways 1 and 2. I don't remember which one of those sold out.
Yeah,
There were a
one
few
of them
the other
did.
one.
Yeah. So enjoy. That's a really fast little knit, and you get to do it with friends, which is always more fun.
It is always more fun with friends. So if you knit, if you do knit a handkerchief, we use the hashtag handkerchief, and feel free to put them in our Ravelry group and our Facebook group so that we can see your project.
Yes, and I know we mentioned that our shawl cowl is ending today, and for people to make sure they put their photos in for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so
In other news, did you see that Gudrun Johnston and Mary Jane Mucklestone announced that they have a new book coming with Lina?
yes.
Very excited
Yes,
about that.
yes, that'll be wonderful.
Congratulations to them both.
Yes.
It's going to be an amazing book.
It is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
They are a powerhouse together, and their books are lovely. And I wonder
It's delightful because whenever they show like photos of them together on Instagram or wherever, you can just see the warmth and the love in their friendship.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome.
Yeah, and I don't think they've done a book together ever. So this is a wonderful collaboration.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. Hopefully it doesn't take too long.
Well,
Because
they must already have the patterns if they were taking a photo shoot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's going to be good.
yeah.
For sure. Okay, so would you like to announce another winner, or should we do a little bit of what's in the shop? We still got Rachel as well.
It's all good things, isn't
It is all good things. I think we should look at some stuff and then announce a winner,
Sounds good.
or look at some stuff and then go to Rachel, and we'll announce a winner at the end.
There we go.
Make you stay a bit longer. Good. Okay. All right. So what do we have to show everyone? Do you want to start with the Latvian mittens?
We do.
So these, you guys, thank you. You guys have been really enjoying these and getting them from the shop. These are Latvian mitten kits. They're adorable.
Yeah.
These are the 10 designs that we have.
Although some of these are that we had. We will be restocking these, but we don't have a date yet on those. But we still have these three styles
Okay. Oops.
available right now.
I like this one. Now, the interesting thing, of course, about Latvian mittens is 3 colors.
Some of them have 3 colors. Yeah.
Like this
Which
one.
I think out of all the ones that are left, these all have at least 1 or 2 rows of 3 colors.
Right. What I mean is 3 colors in a single row.
Yeah.
But this one's very nice, very colorful. I like it. So, yes.
Yeah, they're all beautiful designs. They're already wrapped all
They're already
pretty.
wrapped up, so I'm not going to unwrap it. But
Yeah.
you get just the right amount of yarn for the mitten kit.
You get a pattern card.
You do. It's a beautiful, nicely printed pattern card. And we are also, we have needles, should you want them, because they take what size, Maggie? Double?
00.
Double zero.
00. I will say the 00. So the Hobby Wool, which is the company who makes these beautiful kits in Latvia, they sent us a sample, and
Gorgeous.
they are a little bit snug. So if you need a mitten that's going to be a little bit bigger, you could probably go up to a 0 or a size 1, and check your gauge to make sure these are going to be incredibly warm and comfortable.
Yes. They're lovely. I love that little scalloped
I
edge.
know.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Very lovely. And just
The
that
wool is
pop
absolutely lovely.
is perfect for mittens. Yes. So, mittens are a great thing to knit in the summertime. Kind of like socks. They're small and portable.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a beautiful pair of mittens when the colder weather comes back, which it surely will.
Yes.
So we only have these 3 left.
So these 3 styles are still available and in
Let's have a
stock.
quick look. This one reminds me of Space Invaders. Doesn't it
I
though?
really like that one. And then there's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And you
lovely.
can see for the most part, like this will all be two color.
Yeah.
And then just where that red center is, you're gonna end up with a
Yes.
little bit of a 3 color. But
Which we've got to figure out. Now, we are going to do a Zoom call, I believe, for anyone who has purchased these
yeah.
and wants to get together and have a little Q&A. Not that we're experts, but we can
No.
muddle through it together.
Not experts, but we'll definitely muddle through together.
Yeah, that's all we're offering is muddling through. But yes, I'm very excited about those and very happy to be working with Hobby Wool in Latvia.
And if you've purchased a kit, we will get you details as soon as we can. We need to find a day on the calendar that works.
Yeah.
And then we'll email you details about the Zoom.
But yeah, thanks so much for supporting that, and we will be chopping that up at some point
Yeah.
if you missed out or if you want one that's not here. What else do we want to show everyone? Oh, look at this. This is another thing that people are really enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, Maggie?
These are mystery bags.
These are mystery bags
At least 250 grams of yarn.
from the Woolly Thistle.
Yeah.
Stuff that we have stocked here at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Feels very squishy, but what could it be? You'll not know. You don't know. So these mystery bags we are offering, I think they're $29.95. Many of you are adding them to your order, so thank you for that. And we hope that you love your mystery.
Yeah.
If you order 2 of them, which many of you have, you will get 2 different bags.
Yeah.
So you won't get the same thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So yes, this is very, very fun. I just got a sneaky peek.
I know. Don't.
Very happy.
They're
very
really
happy.
good.
Yeah. So, sorry, we're making lots of crinkly package sounds. But anyway, so the mystery bags are new and fun, and thank you for loving on those too. What else do we have, Maggie?
Have we talked about Saona at all?
I think we did, but
I think Caitlin showed you Saona a
Yes.
little bit in first segment, so we can show you the other colors that are available.
now this is a wonderful yarn from WoolDreamers in Spain, and it's a cotton wool blend,
Yes.
which is perfect for this time of year. It feels so
It
good.
feels so lovely. Like, I had a basket of this on my desk that I literally had to move. And I'm like, I'm going to take it all home if we don't move this basket off my desk. It is so tempting.
Yes.
It feels lovely. It would just be wonderful to knit with or crochet with.
Yeah, and being a wool cotton blend, it's not going to hurt your hands knitting too much because the wool has the elasticity.
Yeah.
Whereas knitting, I can crochet with cotton all day long, but I cannot knit with it straight
I
up.
had the same thing. I enjoy crocheting with cotton, but knitting with straight cotton.
Isn't it interesting how it's so different? These feel
So I
good.
like the blends like between this and Retrosaria's Mungo.
Yes,
I find those to be easier on my hands.
for sure. And this is a lovely soft palette. I think they're working with Ozetta,
Yeah.
who has a large Instagram following,
Yeah.
and she's designed various designs that we've supported with kits. She's lovely, very nice.
Yeah, she has a t-shirt pattern that she's releasing that uses Saona.
Has it released yet? Will it have released?
I don't know when it's releasing. Very soon.
Watch on social. We'll probably email you too
Yeah.
about it. But like Caitlin was saying, she's got 3 balls and she'll get a t-shirt out of that. That's very inexpensive
Yeah.
and quick as well. Gosh, it feels good. So
It does.
let's
It feels
share
really,
the colors.
really nice.
Where
This
did
one is Ozetta. The name is right there.
Guthrie. Guthrie. Lovely. They're very pebbly, aren't they?
And then there's notes. It's a really lovely creamy color.
This one's grown or green. Very
and then
soft.
these were the 2 that Caitlin shared, which is Fratelli
Which has got a bluish.
and 1985.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And then is this Ozetta?
I think that's the last.
Oh, it's it's Sari Chef. Sari Chef is this beige. Where is Ozetta? Is that Ozetta?
Yeah.
Just to show you. So these are both kind of beige, but this one's more gray beige.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And these
Just
are 50
beautiful.
gram balls, I believe. Yes, they are.
But fingering weight, so you get quite a bit of yardage.
Yeah, you do.
And
I
there's
mean-
so many. We have a blog post up with just a couple of ideas, but there's even more. I think that would be
Lots of yardage
perfect
packed
for
in here. It's a nicely packed, tight ball. Very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Soft and good. So all the way from Spain, which is fantastic. They're doing wonderful work in Spain to rejuvenate the wool that comes from the Manchega sheep. Did I say that right? Manchega?
I think so. So I think that this is a mix of merino and manchega, 50% merino and manchega, and then also Andalusian cotton.
Andalusian. So the cotton is Spanish too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Very happy to be supporting WoolDreamers. They're lovely to work with, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yep. Okay. Books. Any books we want to? Oh yes, this is another big box.
As I pick it up off the floor.
Let's show them the box. Look at the size of this box. It's massive. All right. I don't want to hide your face.
I know. Well,
There we go. So in this box, this is our Agatha Christie
book bundle.
book bundle. So you get a wonderful heavy cotton. This is called tote bag.
Tote bag.
If you go out, take your knitting. So these wonderful books. Maggie, why don't you?
Yeah. So you get 2 books. You get the collection of Agatha Christie's original Miss Marple stories, and then there is a new collection done by a collection. A collection by a collection of authors. There you go. A brand new book that has a bunch of short stories
In Agatha Christie style. Whodunits.
Yeah, by a variety of authors.
Yes. So you get these 2 very lovely books, and we love this stitch marker or progress
so
keeper. There's actually glass in it, or plastic, but it's a little
You can
magnifying
actually
glass.
hold it and I don't recommend that,
No.
but it does actually work. It's really cute.
And then you get their lovely Aran weight from Jamieson and Smith, which when I say soft and fluffy, I am
Oh my
not
gosh.
exaggerating.
I know.
It's really
And
good.
this one smells the best.
That's their Shetland black, I think, and it's a natural dark brown.
Yeah.
So,
So we have a variety of color choices that you can choose from in the shop.
yep.
Just wonderful.
And we just have a few of these left, I believe.
Yeah.
So they're going. If you want to jump in before they're gone, that would be excellent.
So you have a quick little summer knit with some summer reading.
Yeah, life is good. Life is good.
Yes.
That's what we're all about here,
I know.
making life the best it can be. Okay, so do we have any books that we want to? Farrell Knitting is beautiful. We did show that last time, but
We did.
it doesn't hurt to.
It was getting lots of love though.
Yeah.
Even the Facebook Live, the thing people wanted to see the most was actually more details of this book.
Oh, well then
And
let's
it's
do some here.
absolutely wonderful.
That hat. That hat.
That hat is amazing.
There's
So
so
this
many-
book has lots of great information in it. She shows you different color palettes, color
It includes
inspiration.
Jamieson and Smith and Spindrift for yarns. Look at that.
So all of these are knit in the same, it's the same pattern, but she shows you how.
How the effect changes with different yarns.
Yeah.
And different placement.
So this bag, this
I
is
love
the thing
that.
that everybody's been
I
talking
love
about too.
these. Like knit a big swatch and then make a bag.
I think too, like I've been thinking about my cockatoo braid because this is what I do when I'm going round and round on Paul Clay now, is that I fantasize about
The next thing.
color work. But I actually think some of these projects would be a nice way to test out the colors
For
before
sure.
I commit to it in a,
Absolutely.
in a sweater.
You know what's funny is when I was at Harrisville last week, I picked colors that were also in my cockatoo braid. And Anne-Marie, who works there, she said, and it's years ago that I knit my cockatoo braid, she said, those are the colors that were in your... I'm like, wow.
How does she remember that?
Because she's amazing.
So this is
Love this hat so much. It's so pretty.
There's also a coordinating mitten pattern for this
Ooh.
hat in here, which is absolutely wonderful.
There. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so pretty.
The vests, the sweaters, one of the questions we had about this sweater was how the collar was applied. So you can see it is actually part of the sweater. It's not a cowl.
Right, it's not an add-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is available now in the shop.
It's a great, great book.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
A copy will be coming home with me at
Yes,
some
me
point.
too. Full of inspiration
Yeah.
and beautiful Shetland pictures as well.
We should talk about, before I forget, we're really bad about this. We should mention what sweater is behind you.
Oh yeah, because we didn't do that.
We didn't do that last week. We didn't do that.
Okay, so this is the Silver Forest by Jennifer Steingast, and I knitted mine in Jamieson and Smith Supreme. So Supreme comes in 8 natural colors, and I used maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Obviously the cream, this gray, and this is Shetland black, which is a dark brown, and then a darker gray. And we have had kits for this. We may still, yeah.
Yep.
This is a lovely sweater. It's very traditional as far as Jen Steingast goes.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So, and I wear that quite a lot. There's great waist shaping in it.
Jen's patterns are really well written and they fit really well.
Right, because you've knit a few too. A couple at
Yeah,
least.
my tree light, which we also have a gift for in the shop.
Yeah.
That is probably my most worn sweater.
Is that right? And that's Let Lopey.
It's Let Lopey. It is just so cozy and the fit is perfect.
Wonderful.
And all I did was follow her instructions.
Same here. Yeah, I don't think I did any deviation except for the yarn. So that's that. What do you have behind you? You've got your beautiful
Yeah,
FOs.
I've got that now.
She's showing off her FOs.
I have FOs. It's nice.
It's good to have FOs. It is great to have FOs. Do we have anything else to show right now?
That we have
Then I
anything
think
else.
we should go to Rachel, then come back and we'll announce a winner. And then we'll let you go for a couple of weeks. And
Sounds good.
yeah, all right. So let's go see Rachel, who is getting very excited for the Eurovision Song Contest that happened recently. So we'll see you after that.
Hi Woolly Thistlers, it's Rachel from Croft here in Fair Isle, and this month we have a couple of new faces for you to meet. This is Merry Legs and Rosebud. Minnie Milk and Mary, who you met in my last video, have been growing at a rate of knots, and Mary is almost too big for knee cuddles now, as you can see. Can you believe that on the 4th of May it was a year since our sweet Blossom gave birth to her little Seraph? We had a birthday party for Seraph with flower gardens and biscuits, although his friends mobbed him because they thought the flowers were real and tried to eat them. Still, the biscuits went down well, and his grandma, Little Miss Teddy Bear, joined in as well. Mary and Minnie Milk have graduated to sleeping in the greenhouse where it's nice and cosy. So this is me at midnight doing my checks on the yows and bringing them their milk bottles. Saturday the 6th of May saw the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III, and of course Mary and Minnie Milk were there to get involved too. Where's my page boy got to? Minnie Milk, come on! Hop, skip and a jump and off we go to the coronation. Come on, keep up! We had some disappointing news on the Isle that the new bird observatory, which supposedly was meant to be opening in this autumn, wasn't even going to be finished until next year. Hardly surprising when this is all they've managed to achieve in a year and there's been no work done on it since November 2022. Sadly, the glorious weather we had at the start of May didn't last, and we ended up with 7 days straight of fog. And it gets quite frustrating because obviously it means that no planes can come in or out, so you're not getting any mail, you're not getting parcels that come in on the plane, the shop isn't getting some of the supplies that come in by the plane either, and it's also just pretty miserable. I think the lambs had the right idea. They decided that the best place for shelter was inside the nice cosy hay in the ring feeder. After 7 days, the fog finally started to lift, and just for a change, we got some rain, which of course left the ground absolutely sodden again just after it had finally all dried out. The cats decided they weren't moving from my bed, and the sheep even had their hay inside. Meanwhile, Brandywine found himself a nice cosy cushion. I think the only positive to all the wet weather we've had has been that the flowers have started blooming, and you can just see here that the bluebells are starting to come out. In what, for me at least, is very exciting news, Dana at Uist Wool sent me these video clips of my fleeces being spun. So this is great news. They are in production as we speak, and I'm hoping that they may get shipped to me in June, July time when they're ready, but I will be sure to keep you all updated as to when I have the yarn for sale. On the 15th of May, I was out checking one of the areas and came across this tiny lamb who was being pecked at by a raven. Unfortunately, her sibling was close by and he or she had been pretty much devoured by the raven, and there was no mum in sight. So picked her up and she came home with me. And you can just see the difference in size between her, Minnie Milk, and Mary. She had quite a torn and bloody ear, but we cleaned that up and put some magic blue spray on it to prevent infection. and she soon decided that Mary must surely be her mum, so she tried to get some milk from her. Later on that same day, I came across one of the hill sheep who was really struggling to give birth to her lamb. The lamb was coming out with just its head, which meant that with its legs back, its shoulders were too wide for the lamb to give birth. By some miracle, I was able to grab hold of her and managed to get the lamb out. But because she'd been constricted around her neck for quite some time, it meant that her head was very swollen, as you can see in this video here. Thankfully, within 24 hours, she was back to normal. The following day, Butterscotch lambed, and she had a lovely little boy lamb. We had a very exciting day on the 19th of May as Crystal Seyfarth, who is a Danish knitwear designer, came to visit us for an hour. She enjoyed lots of cuddles with Merrylegs and Rosebuds, and then got to meet the rest of the sheep and feed them some yummy biscuits. So these guys are enjoying being out on some proper grass for the first time. Here we've got Mary. Hey, beautiful. There's Rosebud. You can see the size difference. There's Brandywine. He's very excited because he's growing some little horns. That's Rainbow Bright's lamb. Here's our little Mini Milk. Not so little anymore. And we've got Merrylegs. And then the girls are in the distance. And here we have Butterscotch's lamb. Well, it wouldn't be May without the most exciting event of the year, which is, of course, Eurovision. Now, I'm not sure if the Eurovision Song Contest ever really made it across the Atlantic, but it's a bit of an institution here in the UK, and I like to have a bit of fun with the lambs and make some funny videos in celebration of it. So I'll leave you with these here to say goodbye. And if you'd like to see more of the videos, you can find them on my Instagram feed. Bye for now, and we'll see you next month. Hello and welcome to the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm here in Fair Isle, and as you can see, the crowds are already gathering for the evening event. This is Saucepan, and what are you most looking forward to about tonight's event, Saucepan? Well, it's been 2 years since I was part of Fair Isle's Eurovision entry in 2021, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing what this year's representatives are going to do. Well, that's great to hear. Thank you very much indeed. That's right. Eagle-eyed viewers might recognise Saucepan as part of Fair Isle's Eurovision entry in 2021. Hi, my name is Saucepan. I'm 1/5 of Fair Isle's Eurovision entry for this year. I'm so excited. I just can't wait. Me too. Let us in, we can't wait for Eurovision. Just enjoying some snacks before the show. Eurovision, yeah! Well, as you can see, Eurovision really is a treat for all the family. And these ladies who are taking advantage of the buffet have brought some of their children along with them. They're all looking forward to the evening's events. I've now come to meet this rambunctious group of boys who So they're on a lads' night out to the Eurovision tonight, and apparently they're making the long journey from Topfield all the way down to where Eurovision is being staged tonight. So let's go and chat to some of them. This is Busby. He's the leader of the group. I've been joined by Marble. And Marble, are you looking forward to tonight's event?
Yes.
Been joined by Sage. And Sage, what are you looking forward to most about the Eurovision?
Meeting new sheep because I really want a girlfriend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sage. And here is Tiny Lamb, who represented Fair Isle in the Eurovision 2 years ago. Hi, I'm Tiny Lamb, and I'm part of Fair Isle's entry for Eurovision. Come and meet my pals who are in the group with me. Where are you? Come on. Cameras are on. Tiny Lamb, what do you think?
I'm really looking forward to seeing what outfits they'll be wearing tonight.
This is Sir Didymus, and what are your thoughts?
Well, it's my favourite event of the year. I just can't wait for it. I'm so excited.
Now I'm joined by Lancelot, and what are your thoughts? Are you going to speak, Lancelot?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a good night out with the lads. Hoping to catch up with some of the friends I've made there in previous years, and yeah, looking forward to rocking out a bit.
Well, that's great to hear, Lancelot. Thank you. I'm here with Roller Cola. What are your thoughts, Roller Cola?
Well, this is my second year going, and I can't wait. I just love Eurovision. All of us lads go together, we'll get some snacks, some drinks. It's just the best night out ever. And we've got some exclusive interview footage now with Mary and Minnie Milk, and I believe that's their manager, Scampy. So, Mary, any thoughts about the evening's performance? Well, I'm partially sighted, so I'm a little bit nervous about falling off the stage. And what about you, Minnie Milk? Well, this is what I do for good luck. I like to eat her ear, and that's my good luck charm. Yeah. That'll make everything okay for tonight's performance. So this is breaking news. Here we have our first look at, this is Minnie Milk, one half of Eurovision's entry. And we can see that he has gone for a Percy Pig outfit. Oh, and there's Mary, the other half. And she is also in a Percy Pig outfit. Well, this is very exciting. And we can just look forward to see what they're going to offer us in tonight's performance. Looks like they've just finished in wardrobe and are making their way to the green room, and we'll catch up with them in a bit.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for that postcard. Honestly, the highs and lows that she experiences there, finding 2 tiny baby lambs out in the wild, saving them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heartbreaking, but, you know, she's out there doing it. So if she wants to have a little fun with the Eurovision Song Contest, I think go for it.
I think I get the feeling too, like my knowledge of Eurovision is really like the movie.
It's an American, yes.
It's, as an American, like I don't have the same sort of context, but I could see that
it's huge.
She's clearly,
it's huge. I mean,
yeah.
all kids grow up watching the Eurovision Song Contest, rooting for, you know, the British entry, and you know, it's all about Europe, and it does bring people together of a night, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
hopefully I was delighted to see that Rachel had so much fun with it.
Okay, so let's announce a winner, Maggie.
So our winner today, our second winner today of a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle is Damaris A. Damaris said, another lovely podcast. Just got my spring box and it was great. Well worth it. Love all the yarns and goodies. Thank you for a wonderful product. Thank you so much for shopping with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
So Damaris, if you can email us at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all caps, we will get you your $25 gift card.
Yes, and if you would like to be in the running next time, just leave a comment below, click the thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel, and you may be picked at random next time. Do we have anything else in the notes here? Yarnology is now here.
Oh, Yarnology 4 should be here by now, yep.
Be on the lookout for our sock bag. It's coming in the next couple of weeks, so we're getting in the run up for that.
Our summer 6-packs. So
Yeah.
every year we do Rauma summer 6-packs. And
Where
we
you
are
get a
working
deal.
on those right now, where you get an assortment of different colors. And it's just great for having in your color work stash, or you
Yeah.
can put them all together in one project. They are
Yeah.
colors that just
Yeah.
work really well together.
You get to choose the pack, so you get to choose the colors, which is nice. So yeah, we'll have lovely Rauma 6-pack, summer 6-packs. And yeah, the mystery bags we'll keep doing for as long as we can. So, you know, check those out. Free shipping on US orders over $125. It's fun. So thank you for shopping with us, for watching the Shopcast, for following us on Instagram, for being an email subscriber, for all the things and all the ways you support the Woolly Thistle. We really appreciate you, and thank you for being part of our community, which of course we've got the Facebook group, which is really quite large and a lovely place to be. So yes, thank you for being in all the places and for being in touch with us. We love that. Maggie, is there anything else we need to do or say? Because I think all that's left to say now is, if you go out,
Take your knitting.
bye.